Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our third lesson of learning the Arabic language. And as usually, before we start our new lesson, let's briefly go through what we studied in the last lesson. Our last lesson started with the phrase Man hada. That means, who is this? And we learned that when we say man, then we are referring to someone that has intelligence, like people or angels. But if we refer to something that doesn't have intelligence, then we say ma hada, like animals. We're not referring to animals as man hada, but rather we would say ma hada. But in this case we are referring to a doctor, and therefore we say man hada. Who is this? هذا طبيب. This is a doctor. And also we learned some new words like طبيب, doctor, ولد, طالب, رجل. Then I proceeded to make a few comments regarding how much I liked this beautiful beard and this stylish bag. Then we moved forward to learn more new words like كلب, قط, حمار. And we also paid attention that when we were referring to a camel, which is an animal that doesn't have intelligence, we were saying ما هذا وما هذا. We were not saying من هذا to a camel. We were saying وما هذا. And then I myself learned a new word in English, kerchief. Subhanallah, when I thought that Canadians, the kerchief is something that kerchief is a napkin that Canadians use. Subhanallah. And again, I'm not making fun of Canadians, I'm making fun of myself that I thought like that. Subhanallah, which was a bit ridiculous. But Subhanallah, it's not that important. Okay, let's just go further and forget about it. الدرس الثاني. Then we moved forward to the second lesson, and we learned a new pronoun, ذلك. We learned how it's pronounced, ذلك, and that it's an exception. You just need to memorize how it's pronounced, ذلك. And then we learned at least 4 new words. And now here we are on the third lesson. Third lesson is saturated with new rules. But don't worry, inshallah, I will try my best to explain these rules in an easy way, so you will understand everything in this lesson. And it's not that hard actually, as long as efforts are being made. So, الدرس الثالث, the third lesson. بيت, which means a house. البيت. Well, when we say بيت with a tanween in the end, it corresponds to the article a house. But once we add this alif lam, it corresponds to the English the. So here we have baytun, a house, but once we added this alif lam, it's the house. Therefore we imply a certain house when we add this alif lam. And what happens when we add this alif lam? This tanween in the end is disappearing, so it's dropped. You either say baytun or you say al baytu. You'll never hear someone say al baytun. It's a mistake. It's a rookie mistake. You just have to get used to the fact that when you are adding this alif lam, this tanween drop is dropped. So it's either baytun or al-baytu. So baytun, a house, al-baytu, the house. Kitabun, a book, al-kitabu, the book. Qalamun, a pen, al-qalamu, the pen. Jamalun, camel, al-jamalu, the camel. Right now you shouldn't pay attention to this. You shouldn't get distracted by these rules. We will get to that. Now I want your focus to be on this book. Al-qalamu maksurun. Well, that's a new word, maksurun. القلم, the pen, مكسور, is broken. It's an adjective. It's some sort of an adjective in this sentence. القلم, the pen, مكسور, is broken. الباب مفتوح. You can see on the picture الباب, the door, مفتوح, it means is open. So again, it's an adjective here. الولد جالس, the boy is sitting, والمدرس واقف, and the teacher is standing. And I want you to pay attention to how I pronounced this word. I said الولد جالس, so I pronounced this alif lam entirely, الولد جالس. But here I said والمدرس واقف. I didn't say والمدرس, but I said والمدرس, and therefore I didn't pronounce this alif. And here it explains why. Know that the a of alif is pronounced only when it's not preceded by another word, like here, al-walad. But if it's preceded by a word, it's dropped in pronunciation, though it remains in writing. So like here, it's preceded by another word like wow, and therefore it's not pronounced, but it remains in writing. والمدرس واقف. So let it sink in. الولد, الولد. I'm not saying الولد, but الولد. I pronounce every single letter here because it's not preceded by another word, but here we have another word, and therefore this alif is not pronounced. الولد جالس والمدرس واقف. And here it states that to indicate this omission in pronunciation, this sign, this sign is placed above the hamza, like here, you see. But to be honest, the only book I've ever seen this sign in is the Mus'haf, Quran. In any other books, I've never ever seen this sign. It's rather just nothing, like here. They don't put anything above this alif when it's not pronounced. They don't put this sign. So you will never see this sign in other books other than in the Quran. So just get used to the fact that there will be blank space above this alif if it's not pronounced, but still it's written. And this sign, don't expect it to be shown in any other book than Quran. So الولد جالس والمدرس واقف. So here we have 10 sentences to exercise what we learned before, like الكتاب جديد والقلم قديم. The book is new. جديد is translated as new. والقلم قديم, and the pen, because we have this alif lam, is old. And as I've said before, these new words you can find in the book of explanation in the end. You see, جديد, new. قديم, well, you will find here. SubhanAllah, I can find it. Old. Here it is. SubhanAllah. Here, SubhanAllah. Here it says that SubhanAllah, new and therefore old. Sitting, standing. So the meaning is the opposite. الكتاب جديد والقلم قديم. The book is new the pen is old. الحمار صغير والحصان كبير. The donkey is small and the horse is big. الكرسي مكسور. The chair is broken. المنديل وسخ. Well, the kerchief or the napkin is subhanallah is dirty. الماء بارد. The water is cold. القمر جميل. The moon is beautiful. البيت قريب. The house is close. والمسجد بعيدا. And pay attention to how I pronounce it. والمسجد بعيد. And the mosque is far. الحجر ثقيل والورق خفيف. The stone is heavy and the paper is light. اللبن حار. The milk is hot. القميص نظيف. The shirt is clean. Okay, here we have our exercises, our portion of exercises that we are always glad to do. The first is اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. Read and write with placing the harakat, which means fatha, kasra, or dhamma, in the end of the words. So here it's masjidun because it doesn't have alif lam, and therefore it's masjidun, like a mosque. But here we have alif lam, and then it means al-masjidu, the mosque. And as we said, when we add this alif lam, tanween in the end is dropped. Al-masjidu, masjidun, al-masjidu. Al-ma'u, ma'un. Al-baytu, babun, qalamun. Al-qalamu, al-kalbu, kalbun. قميص ولد الحجر الولد حمار الحمار الحصان حصان. And as I said in the first lesson, there is a book that you can find on the internet. It's called Keys for the Madinah book of the first level. And there you can find all these tamarin written down, and therefore you can check your homework with that book if what you are writing is right. I can show it to you actually. Here it is, like الدرس الثالث. So you see masjidun, masjidun. All the harakat are placed in this book. So use this book. Inshallah, it will make easier for you your studying. So the second exercise is اقرأ واكتب. المكتب مكسور. The desk is broken. المدرس جديد. The teacher is new. القميص وسخ. The shirt is dirty. اللبن بارد. The milk is cold. المسجد مفتوح. The mosque is open. الحجر كبير. The stone is big. اللبن بارد والماء حار. The milk is cold and the water is hot. الإمام جالس والمدرس واقف. The imam is sitting and the teacher is standing. القمر بعيد. The moon is far. والمنديل نظيف. The napkin is clean. املأ الفراغ فيما يلي بوضع الكلمة المناسبة من الكلمات التالية. So basically you just need to take these words and put them in their places. Like al-hajar is a stone. Is it jamil or is it washikh, which means beautiful, dirty, open, hot, or heavy, or light? Well, we can say al-hajaru thaqilun, al-babu maftuhun, because it's open, and so on and so forth. So to do this exercise, you need to know the meaning of these words and put them in the right places. It's not hard. You can learn the meaning of these words from this page. Inshallah, it will be easy for you. And the same exercises here, but in this exercise they were giving us the words that are missing in these places, but here we need to come up with the words that are suitable for these blank spaces. Like nadifun. What could be nadifun? What could be nadifun? Nadifun, it means the opposite of dirty, which means clean. We can say al-qamisu nadifun. Maksurun. What could be maksurun? Broken. We can say al-qalamu maksurun. We can say al-kursiyu maksurun. The chair is broken. So it's up to you what you want to choose. You just from your vocabulary take a word that is suitable for this place, and therefore you just put it in there. Like here, al-maktubu maksurun. I know it's third. It's the fourth exercise. Like al-minjilu nadifun. So I said al-qamisu nadifun, but they chose al-minjilu nadifun. Both of these answers are right. Al-kursiyu maksur, and so on and so forth. But do it on your own without looking in this book firstly, and then you can take a look in this book. So in this way, inshallah, you will benefit more, because you need to get used to using these words that you learn in this lesson. And then we have al-kalimat al-jadidatu, but you already know where you can find the meaning of these words. And I think that's enough for today's lesson. Just do all these exercises, all these 4 exercises, and memorize all the new words, and get used to the fact that when you are adding this alif lam, then the tanween is dropped in the end. And that's it, inshallah. طيب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.